solid plan. Spins a yarn, recants a tale. The esoteric approach won't fail. Tune in, it's time for Common Man. Common Man, Common Man. Challenge the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Oh boy! Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
Rhoda, you don't know nothing.
Mark, they can't pitch. They can't hit. What is with? I mean, come on.
That is a cold-blooded connection.
Time is running out on Dan Cole's round. Let's go to 15. Bob?
Yeah, John Cole has been visibly angry. He's been talking to himself quite a bit. And it doesn't get any easier here on the par 3 15th hole at Minnesota National. This hole is guarded by two bunkers with a big tree in front of the green. Very challenging tee shot. He's opted to hit a 5-iron here. Cole, unreal pants, fluttering in the wind, mumbling to himself, I've got to have this shot. Ooh, that's very well struck. Spinning through the air like a J.J. McCarthy pass. It's right on line. Looking good. Oh, my! It's in! I can't believe what I just saw.
Oh, you can believe it.
Hole-in-one for Cole at the 15th.
I didn't even know it went in the hole.
Pointing at patrons in the gallery.
One of my playing partners sprinted to the hole. They all doubted me. I thought.
And now he's embracing his son.
Yes, I am. Well,
the moment between father and son.
That really didn't happen.
Minnesota National.
We didn't embrace.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth.
I wasn't muttering to myself either. That's all made up. I tend to be. It was well done though. He did it on the fly. If I were to go to break right now, that would mean we would have 18 minutes of commercials in about a 22-minute time frame. How would that be? That make sense to you? I should just go to break right now. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What is me. I'm the common man, Dan Cole, Act 2 in yours. One shining moment. The glass Chuck Taylor is fitting Troy University. They're taking it to the Cornhuskers. It's a 3-point lead. 10:22 to go in the first. Troy with the ball, 3-pointer from the corner. No. Oh, nice fake. Got him up. Oh. Look, they're just letting Nebraska, you know what they're doing? They're just letting Nebraska mug them underneath Nebraska. But see, now I've got two things going on right now. The two games on are games that involve two universities that I've invested heavily into the past 2 years. On True TV, we've got Troy against Nebraska, 15-4. And then OSU against TCU on the big station on CBS. And I think another one's that's at the half. TCU taking it to Ohio State 3. Here's what baby brother Peter did. So I said, hey, you want to get in on the March Madness bracket? He goes, yeah. I go, okay. And then I said, here's who you send it to. It's Dylan, our guy that used to sell here, and he's now moved on with his life. Grass is greener on the other side. You know how it goes. And he says, can I do two? And I go, yeah. And you know what one of his was? he has Ohio State winning the whole thing. Oh my gosh! I guess it's loyalty to the Buckeyes, but I mean, it's like they're not even going to get out of the first game, and I knew I should have, and I think I did take TCU in one of my. I've got all sorts of brackets. I'm not afraid to admit it. I do 3. I always do. I do 3. I do one where all the top seeds win, and then I saw somebody on ESPN. He predicted his Final Four. He had the 4 number 1 seeds against each other. Boy, he's really going on a limb there, isn't he? But maybe those teams are that dominant. Your number 1 seeds, I think, are Florida, Duke, Michigan, and Arizona. I think those are your top 4 seeds. 1, 1, 1, 1 in each region. And I have one of my brackets. That's what I got. I have all, 1 beats 16, 2 beats 15, all the way down to 8 beats 9. And then when whoever one meets next, would it be 8? They win. I just have it. I have it so I have all 4 teams in the final. Then the other 2 I just kind of jumped all around. I just did a lot of threw in some upsets. And I didn't really look. I full disclosure. I hopped. Best chance for upsets NCAA first round, and then like 5 or 6 came up, and I just used all of them. Just why not? Because really, what are the chances of me winning? I've never won a pool ever. I've come close, but I've never won it. And so we'll see how it goes. Did you do a bracket? Do you participate, Brett Blakemore?
I typically do one, and it's just between the family and call it a day. Yeah.
Well, how much money can you win? Well, it sounds
0.
Like, there's no money. It's just for fun?
Yep. Just for fun.
Yeah.
Just for a little bragging rights, something to talk about.
How about for on the next trip you guys take, it's whoever gets to sit in first class? Do you fly first class? You can admit it if you
I
do.
never have. No.
The big
looks nice.
Oh, it's so nice. When you get on it's funny though that the first class gets to board first because they're first class. Everything's good for them. They all sit in their chairs and they know you're looking, at least they think you're looking at them with envy and jealousy, right? Everybody comes on and looks like a Martian because they're green with envy, right? And I just think to myself, I mutter under my breath. I said, if I really wanted to, if I really felt like, you know what, first class is really, really important to me. If I felt it was worth the money, I could do that. I used to fly first class, but you know how I would do it? Somebody told me this. I don't think this exists anymore. Okay. I was told by somebody, this is what you do. When you go to check in a couple hours before the flight takes off, you go up to that little stand they have at the gate where the airline people are sitting there with their cute little hats on. And you go, hey, got anything in first class? A lot of times they don't, but sometimes they'll go, yeah. I go, what can I get it for? I'll sell it to you for $100. Now, C note's a C note. Now, this is what I tell people all the time, though. $100 is really like $70. And you got to buy some M&Ms, you got to buy a bottle of water, you got to buy a newspaper, and you might want to flaunt it a little bit. Can you make that last?
I always love that one.
Can you make that $70 last? So, anyway, why were we talking? Oh, yeah. So you filled out your bracket?
I did.
And who do you got winning the whole thing?
This is going to surprise you. Number 1 seed Duke.
Oh my gosh!
You got to go with the chalk.
You've never seen Duke play, have you?
Not a single dribble.
Oh, you know what? The glass slipper is just turned into a pumpkin. The coach has turned into a pumpkin. Troy's now getting beat by Nebraska 18-15. Make it 21-15 as Nebraska ball. This would be historic. This would be historic. Nebraska ball is the only power conference team that has never won an NCAA tournament game. They are 0-8. I think I brought that up yesterday. So this is big for Nebraska. Should we test the live listen-ins?
Sure.
I don't know which one we have here. We might have the OSU. I think that one's at the half, though. Ohio State getting crushed by TCU 39-24. Well, let's just see what we got going here.
Down low to Frager. He puts it up. It bounds along the rim and drops through with a foul. A chance at a three-point play for the sixth man of the year in the Big Ten. Braden Frager. Nebraska leads 23-17.
Sixth man of the year. Did you know that Brandon Frager was the sixth man of the year? Because I did not. I do know. I know that now. And it's a... Troy's back on the board, though. This is nipping. This is why it is fun. I mean, I think the reason that did you have something to say?
Well, I just wanted to say that. I just wanted to say that listen-ins to the tourney are sponsored by Dave Smith Motors.
Yes, Dave Smith Motors, the only national. Is that right? Is that
the only national car dealer?
That's pretty cool.
Sorry to stomp on your
no, you're not
there.
stomping on it. But you could have squeezed that in any time. But that was good to get it in, so we don't forget.
Yeah.
And we don't want to forget. Live listening is brought to you by
Dave Smith Motors.
Yeah, and Dave Smith Motors is what?
America's only national car dealer.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Brought to you. What's the name of the place again?
Dave Smith Motors.
Do you have a piece of paper or pencil or pencil paper? Where was I? Now, what was the name of the place again? Do you got a website?
You got a pen that works?
Yeah. Do you got a pen that works?
Wait a minute. Give me a pen that works, will you? Okay, give me that again.
Yeah, give me that again.
Dave Smith Motors.
Very good. So normally I label my three brackets common 1, common 2, common 3. This time I labeled them by the color of ink I used. I used 3 different pens: black, blue, and red. Common red, common black, and I'm going to be my wallet's going to be black and blue because I don't. I'm going to lose. But it's only $5 a bracket, so
yeah,
I'm in. Deuce is in. Here's the difference between Deuce and Baby Brother Peter. Baby Brother Peter has his club winning the whole thing in one of his brackets. Deuce just did one. I think he's got Nebraska getting bounced in the second round. He's got him getting by Troy. But after that, he's realistic, I guess. But I don't know. Nebraska, they were 20-0 at one time, and then they ran into a little bit of a tough spell. But we'll keep you posted on what's happening in the NCAA March Madness Tournament. Rosie will join us around 2 o'clock. We got 534 at the top of the hour and so much more to get to, including a peek at the purple. That's next on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Are you looking to score tickets to the biggest games and concerts in town from
I ain't.
the Minnesota Wild to
He scores
to Santana,
when a man loves a woman,
to the Doobie Brothers,
an angry young man when the future looks bright, quite bright by me, do
or Chris Stapleton?
Purple haze while in my brain, excuse me, while I kiss the sky.
Your chance is waiting. Enter now, KFAN.com, keyword contest.
You don't have to fake laugh. I'm not going to tell you.
I like that bit.
I'm not going to tell you to leave the studio or anything. Well, mainly because there's nobody else to take your place right now. This is the cupboard's bare around here. There's nobody. I went looking for leadership earlier. Every person that is in the leadership position here at the radio station is no longer, except Lil B was here.
Well, that's nice.
So I did see Lil B here. I think Lil B is actually in charge now. She's the Al Haig of the Fan. Do you know Al Haig?
Of course.
Do you really?
No.
Al Haig was he must have been the vice president at the time. Can you Google Ronald Reagan?
I am familiar with him.
And then see who his vice president was? Because I think it became Al Haig. Or maybe the vice president was indisposed for some reason, too, because Al Haig famously...
I've got it at George H.W.
Yeah, and then who? Al Haig, H-A-I-G. He, for some reason, was like next in line.
Secretary of State?
Secretary of State, because I think that's the order it goes in. It goes in the president. If the president becomes incapacitated, the vice president takes over. And then if the vice president becomes incapacitated, the Secretary of State takes over. And and Al Haig did the news conference and said, I'm in charge here. So Lil B she's the Al Haig. She is in charge here. She is the number one, as we go down the pecking order. So if you have any issues, you bring them to Lil B. I received a text message here on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. By the way, thank you for figuring it out. At least at least you were able to log in as you. I couldn't log in as me, even though I am me. And if I'm supposed to be somebody else, why do I look like me? But I couldn't.
The most secure thing that we need, like the most precious data we could protect, is the text line.
Yes.
So we need all the verification and stuff.
And this one says 30 seconds into the show, you're already going to rely on a live listening to carry you through the show. SMH, which I think means shake my head. I rolled my eyes and shrugged my shoulders before I shook my head, personally. Well, no, we were testing it. What we had to. 10 minutes before we're supposed to come on the air, you said, I got no idea how to do live listenings because the program director, who I think is on vacation, didn't let you know.
I had an educated guess.
I guess he just let it slip his mind. But you didn't know at the time. And so we promoted it. We have a sponsor for it. So we were testing to see, we were doing an on-air test to see if it worked. Because we couldn't get the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line to work. How do we know the live listening was to work? Let's see if it's still working.
Hang on.
By Price Sanford. Nebraska left to right. Mast, the big man, brings it up. So skilled at his size.
Point guard.
Hands it off to Jamarcus Lawrence. Lawrence down the right lane line. Blocked by Keel, but a foul. And Keel put his
idolization, pedestalization. It works. And that live listening was brought to you by
Dave Smith Motors.
What's the name of the place again?
Dave Smith Motors, America's only national car dealer.
That is indeed, and we'll be relying on. Dave's getting his money worth today. Peek at the Purple, brought to you by our friends at Affordably Electric. Spring will be here tomorrow. So now is the time to plan your backyard upgrades. Maybe you want to do some outdoor lighting, maybe a patio outlet or two. How about hot tub wiring, garage circuits, and even EV chargers? Affordably Electric helps homeowners across the Twin Cities get ready for the summer season. Schedule your project today at affordable-electric.com, affordable-electric.com, or call 612-331-VOLT. Uh-oh. Can you put that back on Common Man page? Somebody sabotaging my show.
What happened?
Well, if you go to Common Man page 2, it's supposed to be right under Brilliant.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Can you put it on there?
There it is.
There you go. Now I have to test that. Let's see if it works. It does indeed. Well, the quarterback room is full. Carson Wentz returns to Vikings on a one-year deal. He joins J.J. McCarthy and Kyler Murray in the quarterback room. Story reads as follows from CBS Sports. Minnesota Vikings have added another veteran to their quarterback room. Carson Wentz is re-signing with the Vikings on a one-year deal. That's according to NFL insiders Tom Pelissero, NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and Mike Garofalo. Per sources informed of the move, the team did later announce that move. So the team announced it later. Is that just like throwing those guys a bone? Here, you guys work hard. Your whole existence relies on getting scoops. So here's a bone. Got a little bit of meat on it. It's not a real meaty one. It's not like, Justin Jefferson has been traded. That would be a meaty bone, right? This is just signing a guy who's, let's just face it. I mean, I think Carson Wentz is probably past his prime if he ever had a prime. And so it's not, I think most people would react to the story with just as if they were listening to another Common Man program, right? But he is there now. And how about that? They all get credit for it. Pelissero, Rappaport, and Garofalo. They all at the exact same time reported that story. So the three of them get together. And again, you have to have a third quarterback. I guess Wentz is as good as any, right? When you get down to, I think he's third quarterback. I mean, if you were going to have a, what's the word I'm looking for? A pecking order would work, but I depth chart. Yes, thank you. Depth chart. I think it's Murray, Wentz, and McCarthy, I think, isn't it? Or maybe not in the Vikings' mind. But there it is. So Carson Wentz.
Some people are still saying that McCarthy's in line for the starting job.
Well, that's true. That's absolutely true.
Not us, but
Wentz, remember, he played, I don't know how many games last year before the dislocated shoulder, where it almost seemed like, and I voiced my displeasure, and again, it's none of my business. I don't coach the team. I don't play for the team. I don't draft for the team. I don't sign any of the paychecks. But to play Wentz in that last game that they played him in, when basically he had, going into the game, didn't he have like a fractured shoulder socket, a separated shoulder? And I think he had an elevated scrotum even. I think he had a pair of athletic socks tucked up underneath there. It's like, you're going to play him like that? And you got another guy that's coming off of a sprained ankle. Now, and that was like the 4th or 5th week of sprained ankle. It's like, what are you doing playing this guy? I mean, to me, it almost seemed like, what did we call it at the time? I had some fancy pants, something almost that sounded like, almost like lawyerly, legally, it's like, the hell was it? Hold on. Malfeasance isn't the word. But it was like, well, you can't do that to somebody. How do you play a guy when he's got a
malpractice?
Yeah. It was malpractice. It was called a coaching malpractice or play something like that. But yeah, I just didn't think it was right. But apparently, he wanted to play. What's a shoulder when you're giving your heart, right? So that is our. He 5 starts. He completed 65.1% of his 169 attempts for 1,216 yards. He had 6 tutties and 5 ints. And he's back in the fold. What do you think that pays? Couple mil? 3? I mean, I don't know. He probably gets a veteran minimum for sure, and he probably gets more than that. I mean, I think backup quarterbacks, even if you're number 3 on the depth chart, which is probably where he is, that's still probably a pretty good paycheck. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. Affordable-Electric for all of your electrical needs. Affordable-electric.com. Remember, they're shockingly affordable. We might do another live listening during the next segment. We'll talk a little NCAA basketball, other assorted topics to get to as well. Here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Every game is a big game when it's wild hockey. Feel the intensity, the excitement at Grand Casino Arena this season. You can get your tickets now, wild.com/tickets, wild.com/tickets.
So speaking of the Wild, I heard that last segment. Well, not the last segment.
Which last segment?
Well, it was the long one from Vox in the Box. And boy, that excuse computer was, it was working overtime. And working overtime, workout. I get up every morning to the alarm clock's warning, take the 8:15 and 2. That's it. This text message came in. Roger on Brady Camp. Wentz resigned with the Vikings. Merriam-Webster announces new image addition to glutton for punishment. Explanation right after an image of the Minnesota sports fan. Yeah, that is kind of a glutton for punishment. But look, I've said this before. Once you get to there are like 10 good quarterbacks in football, and the rest should all be backups. So if you get to your backup and you're on one of those 22 teams that really doesn't have a good starter, it doesn't matter anyway. It really doesn't matter to begin with, right? But then when you get to your backup, and then if you get to the backup, then it really is over. Then you should just sign somebody from the WFL, World Football League, or whatever it's called. This is a sad day. And I'll tell you why. For 22 years, the interim producer of the program, who was elevated, I even tossed him a bone. Speaking of tossing a bone with some meat on it, I made him the bridge producer. He hadn't had a promotion for everything, the interim producer. And the reason he was interim producer for so long is because I just still wasn't sure. I don't like to rush into anything, right? I'm not going to just all of a sudden make him the producer after 10 years. How do I know it's going to work? Even 20 years. Became bridge producer, and now he's, what was the other one somebody came up with? Gold producer or something. There was some other, luxury producer.
Luxury, yeah.
He's a luxury to have. But for 22 years, Teneby and I have watched the first round of the NCAA tournament together. And that streak is now broken because he's on vacation. He took vacation on a time when this is a long streak he and I
Do you
had.
even care anymore?
It's not as long a streak as Mark Rosen and Don Shelby had watching the NCAA March Madness tournament together because they've been doing it for like 50 years. Matter of fact, WCCO Television made a big deal about it. They did a special one time. They asked a special report that two old pals watching that. And it's like, well, they work together in the evenings when the NCAA tournament is on, so what else are they going to do? Right? Which is why it's just preposterous for me to mention Tennessee and Common, because if we weren't on the air when the NCAA tournament, that there would be no streak, right? I know I'm a Richard. I can't help it. But it's just like, but that streak is now over. One streak that's not. Do you know how much money March Madness costs the economy? The productivity?
I have no idea. Probably little.
March Madness significantly, this is from AI, March Madness significantly impacts workplace productivity, with estimated losses ranging from what to what annually. What do you think those numbers that they consider? What do you think the numbers they have? How much it costs the economy? Let me give you a hint.
Yeah, thank you.
It's probably larger than the gross domestic product of 190 countries in the world. There are 196 countries in the world last time I checked. It's probably larger than the gross domestic. Is that what GDP stands for?
I believe so.
Gross domestic product.
Something like that.
It's certainly of 180 countries. What do you think that number is?
Is it more than what Kyler Murray is owed from the Cardinals? Probably way more.
The question, though, is can he make that last? That's the real question.
I always love that one.
It's between $13.1 billion to over $20 billion due to employees watching games, checking scores, and managing brackets during work hours. Approximately 25 to 40% of employees admit to watching games or engaging in tournament-related activities while on the clock. Here are your key productivity impacts. Time lost. Working fans spend an average of 1.5 to 2.4 hours per day on tournament-related activities. How much time have we wasted today? We've done live listening, is it 3 times?
I think we're at 2. We can go to 3.
No. Didn't we do a first test and a second one and a third? Are you sure we only did 2?
When you're having fun, you lose track of all the...
1.5 to 2.4 hours. We'll add up ours at the end of the day. We are helping. No, we're hurting productivity. We're helping to hurt productivity. Absenteeism. Around 25% to 40% of employees report missing work or calling in sick to watch games. That's sick. You can't be that big of a rube. I know. I look at it. We hang our hats. If it weren't for the rubes, we'd have nothing. We wouldn't be a radio station. We love people. We love that you love your sports. Sports is your whole life, just sports. But if you're actually, not feeling too well today, think I'm going to be out next couple of days, and then they look at what's the word I'm looking for? A boss who's paying attention, let's say it that way. Says, there seems to be some kind of a pattern here. And they look back on your absenteeism, and it always happens to be that Thursday and Friday, the first weekend of March Madness. Is that grounds for firing somebody? I don't know. 25 to 40% report missing work or calling in sick to watch games. Okay. Distraction areas. Productivity dips occur through streaming games, filling out brackets, and checking scores, often resulting in an estimated $1,125 to $1,801 in lost productivity per employee.
I feel like this was written by Big Boss to try to convince people not to fill out brackets anymore.
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't know. I do know that it says then something new that's been added to the mix. The reason I did this is because, what's funny is I didn't see a story this year because generally there are two stories that are as consistent as the sun coming up in the west and setting in the east. The one is the NFL, where after week one, every single sports reporting organization will say, teams that start the NFL season 0-2 only have a 12% chance of making the playoffs. Like it's some kind of thing, the 0-2 thing. It's like the 2-goal lead, most dangerous lead in hockey, right? Which is preposterous, right? It's like, remember Gord? When PA asked him, what if the Wild get out to a 2-0 lead? And he says, well, it's always great to have the lead, PA, but I think the Wild should keep it scoreless as long as possible. In other words, if you've got a wide open net, just miss the net. Don't even score. You want to keep it scoreless. And same thing, it's like, well, the reason those teams are 0-2 is because they're terrible teams in terrible cities with terrible fans and terrible stadiums. It has nothing to do with just like, isn't that weird how that works? That's just one of those weird things that happens in the world, that teams are just 0-2, don't make the playoffs. And then the other one is the lost productivity story. However, I've not seen this before. Workplace morale versus productivity. Positive impact. Many employers allow or even encourage office pools to build team camaraderie and improve morale. Hey, let's all get together. I would think those are companies that are well in the black, right? I mean, if your company is making money hand over fist, why not? Let's kick back and relax. We used to. I think the only reason we didn't do this year is because we're going through a construction zone. Speaking of that, how about this? Well, I think it's well documented. Maybe the other shows have talked about it as well. I certainly have. We're going to complete and total office renovation here. We went from that side of the building to this side of the building, and our studio is not changing, but there'll be new offices, and the performance studio is moving to the other side of the, and we're just going to have a very small kitchen, and I got to bring in that microwave. I forgot to do that. But I went out to use the restroom and get a cup of coffee during the last break, and there was a ladder in the hallway between here and getting to the restroom and into the break area where I could get the cup of coffee. And it was situated in a way as the only way I could get through would I would have walked underneath and I almost did. I was about to, there was a guy and I went, oh, I see what you did. And he goes, what are you talking about? I go, you wanted me to walk under that ladder so I'd have, and what is it, 6-7 bad years of luck?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
You're cursed, essentially.
Yeah. Is that what it is? Is it 6-7 years?
It's like breaking a mirror.
Is that 6-7 years? Or are they different?
Well, can you make that bad luck last?
Can you make it last? IHOP, how many years of bad luck for walking under a ladder, and then do it for breaking a mirror? Then if you do both, you're bleep out of luck, right? I mean, if you break a mirror while going underneath a ladder, and then what if a black cat crosses your path?
If you walk under a ladder, it brings 7 years of bad luck. It stems from ancient Egyptian beliefs, I guess.
And they would know a lot about ladders because, they had to build those pyramids. And they did that. Right. They did that back in the 1800s. How many for breaking a mirror? Is it also 7 years?
Let's see. Breaking a mirror is also 7 years. Something about the.
What about a black cat? If a black cat crosses your path, how many years of bad luck is that?
Let's see. The specific superstition that a black cat crossing your path brings bad luck developed during it doesn't say. There's not a specific
for your lifetime.
Time.
It's just the rest of your life. What if you were to walk under a ladder, stumble, break a mirror, and crush a cat while it's in your path? Or what if you walked underneath a cat, broke a ladder while walking in front of a mirror? If you did them in a different kind of arrangement. And then what if you had a 4-leaf clover or a rabbit's foot in your pocket? Would that negate the bad luck? These are the things I think about. Don't bother Googling that because that's not going to be in here. And then there's management strategy. This is where, because the people that are in the management, right, they're smarter than the worker ants, or so they think, right? Oh yeah, the people. I'm in the position I am because I'm really smart. You're in the position you are because you're dopey. Management strategy. Some studies suggest that embracing the tournament rather than fighting it results in fewer hours wasted because employees do not feel the need to hide their viewing. That's how it used to be for me when I was a teenager and I would get in my dad's stash of Playboy magazines. Hey-o! Thank you. Thank you very much. So, in other words, go ahead. Do your brackets, watch your games, and they think then you won't do it as much because it's the story I've told about stealing apples from the Fabianchis when we were kids. The Fabianchis had a yard with about 5 or 6 different apple trees, and we would wait until the evening, till dusk, and then we would sneak into their yard and steal apples and then go running as fast as we could. And one day they came out and said, why don't you just come and ask? You don't need to steal them from us. And then we said, well, it's not as fun. Right? You know what I'm saying? As a kid, you feel like you're getting away with something, your heart's pounding. Now, it's not like, and don't give me this juvenile delinquent stuff. It's not like robbing a bank, right? It's just a couple of apples, right? And one bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. Give it one more try before you give up on love. So, so think of all the time we just wasted just now talking. We're not even listening, or we're just talking about the NCAA basketball tournament. And we're wasting productivity time. So there you go. Here's one. What if you step on a crack while walking on a sidewalk? We talked about kicking the can. Did you and I talk about that, or was that Tennessee?
That
kicking a can
no one
down
kicks
the road?
cans anymore?
Right.
Yeah, that was me.
Do you know that this is what I do when I walk up and down stairs? I count how many stairs there are. No matter where I am, I do it. Even if I know how many stairs it is by going up and down them day after day after day. I also do count how many cracks I step on in a sidewalk or in a parking lot, but only with my right foot.
I mean, I've heard the step on a crack, you break your mom's back, but I don't know. I didn't know the steps one. Is that different? Is it an odd number thing?
No, I don't know.
You just do it?
I just do it just for something to do, just to keep my mind occupied. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Just what I do. I don't think we can do a live listening now because I think the game's at halftime. Or is there another game? How many different live listeners do we have?
It sounds like they're in break right now.
They're in break right now. Do you have a scoreboard in front of you that we could at least update it? I mean, Nebraska was behind early to Troy, not by a lot or for a long time. I think they're dominating. OSU was getting crushed by TCU, down by, I think, 15 or 16 at the half. Has OSU made any kind of a run here to try to get back into that game, or are the Buckeyes going down?
Yeah, so right now we've got Nebraska leading Troy 41-25 at the half. Yeah. The Ohio State University is losing 49-40 in the second half.
Wow.
10 minutes left.
So they've cut it by 5 or 6 because they were down, I think, 15 at the half.
Yeah, and then Louisville, the 6th seed, is leading 11 seed South Florida 17-9 early in the first. So the problem with the live listenings, I think they bounce around
in the game. Okay. Yeah.
So sometimes you just don't know what you're getting into, or maybe it's studio guy giving all the scores, so you just don't really know. Yeah,
we'll keep you posted on it because it is one of the most wonderful times of the year. We'll see how many brackets. Did you hear yesterday? Did Rosen say this on the air, or did you just say it to me?
He doesn't know how to find one.
I haven't done a bracket in years. It's like he's the guy that would fill out 5, 6, 8, half a dozen brackets, and then come in the next day and go, "I've only got 4 wrong on my bracket." And then Tennessee would look, and he's like got 8 brackets entered. So you're bound to have one. But he says he doesn't do them anymore. But I do my 3. I do 3 every year. We'll see how they go. But of course, you know what? I didn't know how to download the bracket, nor did I know how to. I don't do Venmo. Does that stand for vending machine money? Is that what that stands for?
I don't know.
Vend somebody money, Venmo.
Maybe
that's what it must be, right?
Yeah.
I just figured that out today. I don't have Venmo. So I had to have Deuce Venmo nice. Dylan the dough. And then Dylan said, I said, do I have to download this CBS app? And he knew that I had no idea what I was talking about. He just said, why don't you take a picture of your brackets and send them to me?
That's dedication just to have you in the thing, in the pool, that he's willing to go 64 different teams matchup for matchup just to have you in.
So I took pictures of my brackets and I sent them in to him. And then Deuce did the Venmo. I'll give Deuce a cut.
That's nice.
You know, if I win, he'll get a little bit of something out of it. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Let's do this. Why don't we go ahead and take a break here, regroup a little bit, give me an opportunity to heat up some leftovers for lunch. You can take a look at a list of questions you put together. I would assume you put together 5. Well, maybe 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
That is correct.
And we'll do that on the other side of the break. Mark Rosen at 2, but do you have a tease for us on that 5-3-4?
Well, since we're going to have more time to explore, how about 3 golf questions?
Love
3.
it. Love it.